Dr. Karen Morton from Dr. Morton's The Medical Helpline. I think the health implications of menopause, I think that's been a big surprise to me about, you know, we gain our weight around the middle, estrogen means we store it here, but we are at increased risk of other illnesses if we don't take control. So what are the increased health risks of menopause?
Well, the biggest one would be the fact that before menopause the incidence of heart attacks in women is dramatically less than in men, and after menopause it fairly quickly goes up to exactly the same as men.
Wow.
So there you go. And there's clear evidence, and this is relatively new evidence, about the window of opportunity for protecting your blood vessels. We're talking about blood vessels becoming furred up, really, with atheroma, with atherosclerosis, fatty deposits under the lining of the blood vessels of arteries. And it's been very well shown that if you start estrogen replacement before that furring up has begun, it protects against it.
That's interesting.
If you start hormone replacement therapy after atheroma has formed, it can tickle it up and cause the plaque, the atheroma, to lift. And this actually is where one of those, you mentioned earlier, the Women's Health study, between us we did, in the States, showing some adverse outcomes on early heart attack and stroke shortly after starting hormone replacement therapy. And that refers to exactly what I've just described, this window of opportunity, protective if you start it before atheroma has formed, but it can tickle it up and cause it to lift and lead to an adverse event if you start it after atheroma has formed.
And how can atheroma be detected? I might be asking a ridiculously simple
Well, you are, of course, at higher risk if your circulating fats, your lipid profile is poor. So if you have a high level of cholesterol, the bad sort of cholesterol, then it is likely that some of that will have been deposited in your blood vessels. And of course we are more likely to develop a poor lipid profile as we get older, and certainly if we don't look at our diet carefully.
And alcohol.
Yes, not specifically alcohol. Alcohol has different effects, but there's no doubt that we all drink too much. Most of us do. And it's very, very important to have 3 consecutive alcohol-free days every week. That's been shown by the Liver Trust, work from the Liver Trust. That's actually irrespective of age or gender. But
so that's a really simple,
very simple
that
thing.
we can all do that, can't we?
Yes, we can.
So would it be, would one get cholesterol checked then before starting on hormone replacement to check that you don't have the raised risk?
Well, of course, you'd have it checked earlier if you had a family history.
Right.
Because there are some inherited forms of high cholesterol.
Yes.
So if you know that you have a family history of early heart attacks and strokes, you would have a cholesterol level checked probably when you're 40.
Right.
But if you don't have any other pointers to it, then you'd probably have it checked when you're 50.
I think you have it as part of your 50-year check.
And people should go for that.
Yes.